Hello, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. I've come out for a bit of a drive round. I had to return something to Park Cameras over at Burgess Hill. Bought some by mistake in the week that doesn't do what I wanted. A monitor for the camera so that I could actually record HDMI from it, but it doesn't appear to do what I wanted, so I had to return it. Anyway, I'm passing the Ashdown Forest, which is where I'm in at the moment, and it's a particularly nice place. I really do like the Ashdown Forest, and I've shot several times here in the past, and I thought, well, I've got my camera gear with me, why don't we see if we can get some shots? So I've walked down the track from the car park about 300 yards and found this nice clearing here, and we're getting autumnal colours starting to happen on the bracken and the leaves on the trees as well. And I've got the 100 macro manual focus lens on at the moment. And what I'm going to do is, there's a particular shot here, there's a piece of fallen tree, which if I spin you around you'll be able to see. In front of me here is this piece of fallen tree going off into the distance, and then there's a series of verticals of trees at the end of where the trunk's pointing on the fallen bit of tree. So I'm hoping to get a shot of that. So I'm lining it up pretty tightly, and on the back of the camera you can probably see that's the framing I want, but I've got a lot of depth of field needed here because I want the part at the front here and the part at the back to be in focus. So I've got focus peaking enabled. You can see the red highlights on the camera. So what I'm going to do is take about 3 shots here with the focus point moved. At the moment it's set on the 2.5 second exposure. It's set on up here in the corner, and as I move it further into the frame you can see the focus peaking is coming further and further down the shot. So we'll take this one, then what I'll do is I'll focus stack these later in Helicon Focus or Photoshop, whichever, and take that one, and I'm just going to check the actual focus on that when it's finished, and zoomed tight in on that. Yeah, that's nice and sharp, that really is nice and sharp. So yeah, there we go. That's the first shot in the bag, 2.5 second exposure, there's nothing moving. So back onto my ugly mug. There were some people around, it's gone quiet, the kids have disappeared, and the people, the families that are wandering through, so I don't need to feel as self-conscious as I do normally vlogging when there are people around. So that's the first shot. I'm just going to have a mooch round, and I'm particularly keen to get a nice sort of tight in shot of some autumnal colours. So come back in a few seconds, join me in a few seconds when I've found the next composition. See you in a bit. Another composition here, and I'll spin you around so you can see it. Over my left shoulder here is this old gnarled tree. And what's interesting about it is, if I point you down, you can see there's an exposed earth bank with a little ditch running along the side here, which has all been exposed by the hot weather, and normally this is covered in grass, but it isn't at the moment. And I think this framed here, I've got the 16 to 35 on, I'm actually at 16mm, and what I've got is a composition where the eye is led into the frame here by this root, and then led out of the frame at the top there by that branch going off to the right here. And I've got the main trunk of the tree on the line of thirds, the vertical line of thirds, and there's a nice green area in this area which is filling in that side of the image and balancing it up quite well. So I'm going to take that shot, and what I'm going to probably do is, it's 1/2 second ISO 50 f13, and I'm focused on the root here. So let's get that one, and then I'll focus on the trunk, move the focus point to the trunk of the tree, zoom in on that, which it's done nicely. Take that one, and then I'll put the focus point on the far distance. There's a trunk over in the distance, over that way, somewhere over there, and we'll get that shot as well. Half a second exposures, they should all focus stack together quite nicely. So that's the second shot. I'm hoping that one's working, or will work. You might notice this is the ball head on this Peak Designs tripod. It's quite an interesting design, and it means that I only need the tiny plate on the bottom of the camera that fastens into this Arca Swiss compatible head, and I can switch it to vertical. I don't need to have the L bracket, which lightens the load of the camera, makes everything that little bit more compact and actually more easy to carry around. So I've got those 3 shots in the bag. So the next thing I need to do is find another composition. There's a lot of things here, so there's plenty of things to choose. I might change lenses, I haven't decided yet. Might put something a little bit longer on, 100 to 400 for instance, and pull some detail in close, but let's see how I get on with that. Well, I found another composition, and it's basically the same one again. I've moved only about a foot, slightly this way, and what I've done is I've used it, one, to actually obscure something in the distance over there, which was making the frame look a little bit odd. There's a fallen tree over there. But more to the point, what I've done is I've got a slightly better composition. I'll show you here. What I've done is I've actually, it looks pretty much the same as the last one, but what you'll see is I've actually got these roots forming a nicer intro. They're not clipping on the bottom, which they were in the previous frame, and I've still got the branch going off to the right here, which is making a nice sort of shape, forming a shape here that is basically framing this little bit of ground, bit of fallen tree in the distance, and strangely a little signpost there, which will get taken out in post-processing. So I'll get those shots. I'm focused in on the root nearest us, then the tree trunk, and then the distant trees over there. The screen keeps blacking out because it's sensing my hand coming near, and it's got the switch to internal display turned on, which I don't really ever use, so probably could do with turning that off. So I've got those 3 shots. That's actually what I wanted from that. So spinning you around again. That's 3 shots I've now got here, and I think that's probably enough. So I'm going to pack up, go home, and post-process them, put the video together, and hopefully you guys will like what you see. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I'll see you on the next video.